All right, we should be live in the YouTube Ads for Entrepreneurs Facebook group. I'm just gonna wait for everybody to hop in here. I hope you guys are excited. It has been a little bit since we've done an AMA, Ask Me Anything, right here in our YouTube Ads for Entrepreneurs Facebook group. And we have just hit over 10,000 members in this Facebook group, which is incredibly exciting. A lot of other entrepreneurs, marketers, business owners like yourself, all here in this group, over 10,000 of you looking to learn YouTube ads, implement that into your own businesses. And I'm just so excited with how much this group has been growing and all the value that we have here to give you guys. So so the first question that we have, Mulkins asks, what are some good pointers that you recommend on making a video ad about online marketing? So that's a great question. If you're trying to create an ad specifically about online marketing, if you're trying to teach somebody something, especially, if you're a coach, consultant, course creator, that might fall into the consultant area, maybe even a service provider, if you're providing marketing services. It's really important that you have these three main components. You have a hook, so you pull people in, right? You want to pull the right people in and push the wrong people away. So you want to capture people's attention. But the really important part, especially if you're in the online marketing space, and kind of educational internet marketing, kind of content-based space, is to provide value, is to actually educate on the ads. This is one of the biggest things people get wrong. This is also one of the things that a lot of people don't teach out there, but we want to teach, we want to shout this from the rooftops, that you need to include education in your ad. Right? And that's what's going to let people see you as the expert, as the person that can help them, whether it be with marketing or something else, right? Whether, you're a coach, consultant, or you have a course, you're an expert in something. And so providing some of that expertise on your actual YouTube ad in the education section is just so valuable because it gets people to see you as the expert, gets them to trust you. I call it giving out little golden nuggets. And if they get a few golden nuggets, even from your ad, then by the time they get on your webinar, your training, or your list, they're getting a little bit more value, and then they're going to book a call or they're going to purchase your course or whatever that next step is. And that is what I recommend for online marketing. Obviously, you have the call to action at the end, but the big thing is you want to make sure that you have that educational value, that educational component. This is one of the things that's so different. One of the reasons YouTube ads work so much better than Facebook ads is because, you actually can provide value. People are in the learner's mindset. They're going on YouTube to learn something. So whether they're looking up, how to scale my business, how to market my business, how to start a business online, or they might even be looking up personal things like how to lose weight, how to get fit. They could be looking up a wide variety of different things that you help people with, how to build an Amazon store, whatever it is that you're helping people with, even mindset and coaching, and maybe they're watching a Tony Robbins video. If you help people, if you're a coach, consultant, or course creator, you get in front of them, you can educate and provide value. Now, if you're in a different, field as well, it's the exact same thing, right? If you're the only, real estate agent or mortgage broker in your town that's running YouTube ads, who are people going to turn to when they decide to, purchase a home, right? It's the same thing with online e-com products. If you can demonstrate and show the value of your product on your YouTube ad, then what you're going to be able to do is get people to see your product as the only one that's going to have that solution. So again, obviously we talked about, because the question was for online marketing, about kind of the coaches, courses, and coaches kind of space. But it still applies to a wide variety of different YouTube ads as well. By the way, if you guys are just joining us right here, this is our YouTube Ads AMA. Post your questions down below. Lauren on my team is going to be sending these over to me as you have them. We have a few questions that were already submitted on the post I made yesterday. So we're just diving into those. We got about 10 of those to go through. But if you guys have questions, post them down below. We're going to be hitting those here in just a second. So the next question comes from Jesse. So Jesse asks, what optimization goal do you use for webinar signups? That is a great question. So when you're setting up your YouTube ad campaigns, what you can do is you can set what the conversion action is. And that's what your campaigns are optimizing for. If you have them set up as a lead ad, either TCPA, which is target cost per action, or max conversions. Now, typically we're going to start things off with TCPA. We have a certain way of bidding. Actually, it's kind of funny for our clients. We have a whole flow chart of exactly, how to bid, where to go, like what your budget should be, who you should target, all of that. But when you're setting this up for your conversion action, that defines, what you're actually tracking as a conversion. Now, what I recommend doing is using all conversions for your webinar ads. That way you can actually track or all conversions in account. Now, you want to make sure that certain ones are enabled for your conversions column and some aren't. By the way, this is getting a little bit into the weeds, but this will answer the question. So essentially, you want to make sure that you're optimizing for webinar leads and phone calls booked and then applications. That's what I optimize for, is all three of those on your webinar ads. I don't optimize for viewed webinar. I have those as a hidden conversion. So you can track the conversion, but it doesn't actually affect the algorithm. So essentially those are hidden from the column view, but you can still view them, by selecting a segment. And then we also are going to have, basically a wide variety of other tracking too. People who get to our apply page, people who, take a look at our testimonials page, people who do, get the PDF or this other training. But the three ones that we're actually, counting as a conversion are webinar registration, booking a call, and we also count that as a conversion value of $1. And that's just kind of for tracking purposes too. And then we count as a conversion value of $100, even though it's worth much more than that, than $100. We just track it at $100. We track our application submitted for an application-based funnel. And that seems to be what you're asking. Same thing if you're doing purchases and courses, that's actually easier. You just set the conversion value at whatever the course value is, or if it's an e-com product or a funnel that's selling an info product, you're gonna actually set that conversion value at whatever that purchase is, that purchase value is. And what I recommend is tracking both the front end metric, which in this case is the lead or the webinar registrant, and then also the back end metric, but not the ones in between. You don't need to track the view webinar, view replay in terms of what's actually showing up in Google as an optimized conversion. You want to track everything, but there's certain ones that you're optimizing for, I mean to say. So you only optimize for those. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if it doesn't. We can answer those in the AMA here. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this so far. Now, actually, before we get into the next question here, I was literally just on a call yesterday with one of our top ad outreach inner circle clients. Inner circle is, kind of our higher tier program where we actually dive into not just YouTube ads, but we actually set up Omnipresent retargeting machine, which is targeting people from every platform, right? So not just YouTube. You want to show up. There's actually some really fancy YouTube ads you could do that feel like they're podcasts. They feel like they're clicking it. A podcast interviews that I've done. I might even run something like this AMA as a YouTube retargeting ad. There's discovery ads, then targeting people on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, AdRoll, Google Display, basically everywhere. But anyways, I was having a conversation with one of our inner circle clients, and so far this year, he's already spent over $1.7 million on YouTube ads. And it is by far, is what he was saying is the best traffic source that he has. Obviously been doing Facebook, but doing variety of different things. I think some solo ads, voicemail drops, things like that from my conversations with him. And it's just when you find YouTube ads and you're getting such value there, he's getting 25 to 30,000 leads per month, all from YouTube ads. And that's the level of volume that you can scale to when you really get these ads dialed in. So I just wanted to share that. So I see some questions coming in here as well. I know we also have some of these past questions. So one question that just came in here from people who are on the webinar, Roger asks, how do you find the monetization videos to put your ad in front of? So the videos that are specifically monetized. Now, that's a great question, but that's more talking about the way that placement ads are set up. So this leads me to two answers. One answer for the monetized video is you can, if you go into YouTube in an incognito window, you can see what video is monetized, what's not. That's the hard way to do it. There's also a lot of tools out there that people have created. And we use one in particular that we share with our clients as well. But there's different tools that allow you to track which ads are monetized or which videos are monetized and which aren't to put your placements on. But those of you who have been following my content for a while, you know that I don't recommend placements as the main way to run your YouTube ads. Because the problem is with these placements, that's a big thing, is a lot of people, when they start running ads on YouTube, is they get, kind of these old, outdated courses, content that exists online. We really have people helping them, like what we do with our program. And obviously I want to provide a lot of free content here as well. That's why I'm talking about this. But what people do is they often just go in and they just get placements. And oftentimes, these people who sell these placement softwares, they have their own, kind of like mini course on YouTube ads, but it only teaches you how to use placements. The problem with placements is it's not that scalable, right? That's the problem you're probably talking about. How do you find videos that are monetized to get in front of? Like, everybody's trying to target the exact same placement videos. And what I have found for success on YouTube, and then what other people, then what they do is they say, okay, wait a second, I can't scale these placement ads. I'm going to test keywords or topics. So they do these broader keywords. So maybe they were targeting individual videos that might be like fitness, how to lose weight. Now they're going over here and they're using keywords, how to lose weight, how to get fit, how to get in shape. But they realize that, wait a second, these keywords are so broad that yes, we have a lot of scalability, but it's not as dialed in. We're not targeting as dialed in people. So our conversion, our actual return on ad spend is dropping. So what you need to do is use our concept, is literally right back there, of 3D YouTube ads. You don't want to just target videos. You don't want to just target affinities. You want to take the demographics. So especially if you're in a high ticket or you're selling a higher price, product, service, program, whatever it is, top income brackets, so maybe top 30%, layering that with a broader selection of videos. So not just the individual videos you have to constantly swap out, you have to get thousands and thousands of those, constantly recycling them. There's not as much scalability. Getting those keywords or topics, so broader, different collections of videos, and then layering that with affinities. That's custom affinities, custom intent, custom URL affinities, where you could target people based on websites they've been on before. If you could take a collection of who somebody is and combine it with what they're watching, but in a broader sense. So not the individual videos, but keywords, right? So like how to lose weight, how to build a business, how to scale my business. It could even be a whole channel placement like Tony Robbins or something like that. And then layering that, because those on their own is a little too broad, right? You're not necessarily reaching the right people. Layering that with people in the top income bracket and layering that with affinities. And affinities, you could target people who have been on ClickFunnels.com. You could target people who have these different custom affinities, custom intent based on what they've searched before on Google in the past. And so that was a very, very long answer here to Roger's question. But yes, on a micro scale, there are tools that you can use to find monetized videos to run your ads in front of with placements. But, and those can be good low-hanging fruit. But the problem is when you try and scale those campaigns, it's very hard to scale without getting thousands and thousands of videos, constantly needing to recycle it. The way to create campaigns that both scale and convert at the highest levels. Trust me, I was literally on the phone yesterday with one of our clients, spent $1.7 million in the, just so far this year. So in the last, 8 months, 3D YouTube ads is the methodology that works to create campaigns that both scale and convert. Awesome. So there's a few more questions coming in here. I know we also have some questions that came in before too. I hope you guys are enjoying this as well. Now, by the way, as we go and hit these, feel free to post your own questions for this AMA down there in the comments below. And if you guys are ready to schedule a call, you can go to adoutreach.com/apply at any time to schedule a call to speak with our team about YouTube ads for your own business. It is a 45-minute strategy session. We're going to be diving in, walking you through exactly what this looks like for your own business. Lauren can drop a link for that, but let's keep answering these questions. Awesome. So Brett asks, when selling a low ticket, about $50 physical product, is it okay to send traffic directly to a Shopify product page, or would you go to some other type of funnel? So it depends on the specific product. So yes, you can send to a Shopify page, but the reason that I would usually recommend sending to a funnel is because it's going to be better for an individual based product. Now, if you have a collection of different products where choosing the product that's right for them is important. So let's say you have, a line of apparel, or you have a line of, different tech products, or, dog products, or whatever it happens to be, then yes, sending to a Shopify, store or Shopify page is great because they can choose what they want. Obviously, you have to be meticulous in your tracking. In general, we found targeting and running ads for specific products works better than a whole store. But if you're running for a specific product, let's say you're a business really focused on one main product, that, you know, that is your main product that works really well. You want to build out your targeting around it. You know, this has great margins. The market loves it. You know, this is what you want to push and promote. I highly, highly, highly for e-com recommend doing it as a ClickFunnels product-based funnel. So we've done this many different times with a variety of different products. So we've had, you know, hair care, you know, anti-hair loss formula. We've had the green tea detox. We've had, you know, the fruit, the green juice smoothies. You know, we've even had like dog harnesses, right? We've had a wide variety. I think we have a client right now who sells ocarinas, which is incredible. And so we have all of these different clients that specifically, you know, they have this main product. Maybe not in the case of the ocarina, so that might actually be a case where you send them to more of a store and they can choose. You know, but when it comes to, you know, something like, we've worked with a client that has like a specific dog harness, right? We've worked with a client that has their main line of hair loss prevention formula that includes a welcome kit and then a subscription where they get, you know, the refills sent to them. Sending it to a funnel is just so much better because that way you can control exactly what people can do. You can have a video demo. You could, you know, basically build out all of the copy on the website, showcasing the product, the images, everything. And then when they go to purchase it and they purchase, and after they put in the credit card and they buy it, you can have upsells. Now, I know there's ways with plugins to do that on Shopify, but it's just so much easier on ClickFunnels because now imagine, you know, if you're selling a product that has, you know, a very specific use case, you could get another ancillary product that you pop up. But wait, you can add this to your order. But they've already submitted their order, so they're not going to go back and like not, you know, it's a very different adding something to a cart in Shopify versus on ClickFunnels where you can say, okay, buy this. And then once they buy it, great, now you should also buy this. And if they say yes, then you might show them something else to buy or double your order for, or triple your order for double the price or whatever it is, you know, whatever deal that you have. It's kind of, think about it, it's like the Billy Mays, but wait, there's more, you know. Versus on Shopify, the problem is everybody's adding everything to your cart and there's a one-time, like the purchase is kind of at the end. Yes, there's plugins you can use. It's just a different type of process. But if you're sending to more of a store, you can use Shopify. If you have a main product that you're looking to promote, I almost always will recommend running it as a funnel and then having your various upsells added onto that as well. Awesome. So another question that we have on the live AMA right now, don't worry, I have some of the other questions that were submitted yesterday over here as well. I'm going to hit those in just a second. But Joe asks, would you be able to set up a YouTube campaign for generating leads for a PI attorney client? You know, I tested a bunch of custom intent, custom affinity audiences, but my cost per lead was around $180 to $200, and I'm looking to get that under $100 at scale. So that's a great question. So, you know, especially for attorneys and, you know, kind of businesses that are looking for these kind of like higher tier leads that are, you know, specifically looking for that intent and that in market. It looks like you're already running intent and custom affinities. Typically, I wouldn't run a custom affinity audience necessarily on its own to something like that. I would do custom intent. Also, I believe there's in-market audiences. It's been a little while since I've looked at those ones specifically, but I believe there's in-market audiences that are going to work for that as well. So I would look at what's pre-built by Google. But at the same time, the intent in market. And then the other thing that we can do though is have that layering, the 3D YouTube ads approach that we talked about. So we've worked with different attorneys in the past. And I know one of the things we've had is a combination of people who have these intent, right? Maybe they're looking it up on Google, and the intent on its own is something that we would recommend running. But you could also layer that with the specific videos that they're watching, especially if you have affinity on its own, that typically isn't going to work as well. You want to layer that with the video they're watching right now. So you can be watching video on their specific, you know, on their specific, you know, maybe it's like an injury, you know, page, like how to get, you know, how to file claims, like how that works, right? Maybe they're looking up what legal recourses that they have for them. Obviously, you'd want to do some research on the types of videos and the keywords that people are looking up, but you take that and then you layer it with the fact that they've been recently searching on Google or they're in the market for an attorney, and you combine those two together. And probably demographics doesn't matter as much, especially if it's, you know, personal injury, you know, because obviously part of that is winning through the lawsuit. And so you just have those two elements, the videos and affinities, and combine those together. But I would say that's the big thing, is looking to layer. Custom intent on its own should work. The other thing is, remember, don't overlook the video. So one thing that we recommend doing is making sure you have the hook educate call to action, even for something like this, where you can actually capture people's attention, right? That they have this problem, right? That they, potentially need an attorney to get them damages. And then you get into the education portion, right? Where they talk about how, this can be valuable for them. This can make them whole for the situation that happened to them. And then the call to action, obviously going and booking. The other thing that I would do too, and this is low hanging fruit, you're probably already doing this, but just in the off chance that you're not, is retargeting all the people that view that page with retargeting ads on YouTube to get them to come back and book a call if they haven't already. Awesome. So hopefully that answered that question. Again, guys, if you guys are on here, I am really excited just diving into this AMA. If you guys have more questions, post them down below. Ask me anything, right? So I want to dive into everything here. The next question that I had was submitted yesterday. This is from William, asks, what's the ideal length for a YouTube video ad and how far into it before adding a call to action? That's a great question. Let me just have a quick sip here. Awesome. So how long should you create a YouTube video ad for? When should you have the call to action? So like we talk about, we have a hook, educate, call to action. We actually have a training on our YouTube ad script, how to craft the perfect YouTube ad script. It's right here in the group. If you look up YouTube ad script on the side, you should be able to get access to that training that we have. Obviously, with our clients, one of the things that we do is we have our in-house copywriters actually go in. They do a fantastic job working with you on a call to help you craft the script. So best, what your market is, what you need to put into an ad. And then obviously our copywriters know how to create an ad that converts, and we combine those together to create the perfect script, exactly what to say and do. But in terms of that, what we recommend is a longer form ad, typically between 3 and 6 minutes long. The sweet spot may be about 4 or 5 minutes. And so the reason for that is if you have just a short ad where you hook them and then you say, okay, go and sign up for my webinar, or okay, go sign up for my email list, or take that next step. The problem is it's too short. You're not actually providing any value. Remember, people are on YouTube for the learner's mindset. Now, here's the thing that catches people. They do these ads where they hook, they say, hey, do you have this problem? Okay, sign up for this webinar. And it works to some degree because YouTube ads work. And it's a blue ocean right now, but it doesn't work as well as it could if you capture people's attention. Then you provide value in the middle. So you actually teach them what you need to teach them on the ad itself, provide actual value. And then once you provide that value, then you have the call to action that gets them off of the ad and onto your webinar, onto your email list, whatever that next step is that you want people to take action on. So hook, educate, call to action, 3 to 6 minutes long, 4 or 5 is that sweet spot. That's what we recommend. Again, one other thing I'd recommend for you too is, and this is for a lot of people asking questions, is, schedule a strategy call with our team at outreach.com/apply. It's a 45-minute call. We're going to dive into your business, understand exactly what you're doing with your marketing, map out how you can use YouTube ads in your own business, what it would look like. And if it's a good fit, then we might, explain obviously what our program looks like and if that's a good fit for you. But either way, we're going to map out exactly, what this looks like in your business. You guys can go to atoutreach.com/apply and schedule that call. All right. The next question that we have here is from Benjamin, who asks, how do you get the conversion tracking code to implement offline conversion tracking? So that's a great question. So there's a way that you can upload the offline conversion tracking into Google. Now you can do it manually. It's in the conversion setting. This is getting a little bit more granular, so I don't want to get through all the technical details, but you can go into your conversions. You could upload offline tracking manually. There's also third-party solutions that will allow you to connect to the Google API that you can use to track offline conversion trackings automatically. So there's ways that you can actually link it up. There's different platforms that you can use. That's a little bit more of a technical question. And that's the type of thing that, obviously on our team, we have people who help implement things like that. But in terms of the answer to your question, what I would recommend doing is looking into, obviously you can upload the offline conversions. That's not ideal unless you want to have somebody have that be their job of uploading them. You can also connect via the API, the conversions to automatically load into Google, and then you can track them that way. Awesome. Next question that we have here is from, there's a couple new ones that you guys have as well, which is awesome. So, and then obviously we have some of the ones from yesterday, so we'll go back to those in a second. So we have David is asking, how would YouTube ads cost compared to Facebook? Is it 50% less? Is there a general rule of thumb between the two platforms? Specifically mentioning that you're located in Australia. So that is a great question. Is the lead cost, what is it, does it look like versus YouTube and Facebook? And so typically what we've seen is that the overall lead cost, if you're targeting everybody, is going to be cheaper on YouTube versus Facebook. There's not a hard rule. but that's typically what we're seeing. And so, you know, if you are targeting a broad array of people, we have people who are getting, you know, let's say on a broad array, this is like targeting more people. They might be getting $10 conversions on Facebook and they end up getting $5, $6, $7 on YouTube. Same thing if you're in a more tight kind of competitive space, some of the online marketing, like for higher tier, like business owners, kind of coaching space, sometimes a little bit more expensive. So I know people who are, you know, getting like $15, $20 leads on Facebook who are getting $10, $12, $15 leads over on YouTube. But I will caution and say not every lead is equivalent. Unless you're like an agency that's doing pay per lead model, which I don't think is the case, not every lead is equivalent. And so you don't just necessarily want a lead as a lead. What we found with YouTube ads is we're willing to pay a little bit more. Maybe it's the same as Facebook, might even be a little bit higher than Facebook if we add in top 30% income earners, because then we know that people can actually afford our services. So if you're targeting everybody, all income brackets, on YouTube, generally it's less expensive. Sometimes it's half, sometimes it's like 2/3 the cost versus Facebook. But if you want to layer in only the top income earners, whether that's top 50%, 30%, or even top 20%, which we even run for some of our campaigns, because especially if you're, you know, a coach, consultant, course creator, if you're in like a high ticket space, you have a higher end product or service, you're going to want to reach people that can afford it, right? You know, you don't just want to look at your email list and be like, I've got, you know, millions of leads, but nobody's buying. You want to have those core buyers that are actually going to, you know, be likely to become clients. And so not all leads are created equal. And so typically what I recommend, especially to people that are looking for higher quality leads that are looking to come in, is targeting like top 30% of income earners or top 50% of income earners. Usually that may make it on par with the cost for Facebook, but you're getting a far higher quality lead. So you have to look at that as well. So, you know, if you're just running to all income brackets, you know, on Facebook, they don't have that targeting anymore. It's, you know, they don't let you target based on household income. They have zip code income, but that's really just targeting people in cities like here in Boston, New York, wherever you happen to be. But on YouTube, you can do genuine household income targeting. That's why we talk about demographics as one of the layers. And so if you're targeting people that are in a top demographic, you're going to pay a little bit more for that person, but you're going to get a far higher quality lead. So if you just want as many leads as possible, it'll be cheaper than Facebook in general. Again, you know, obviously it depends on the industry. In general is what we've seen. But what I recommend is taking that extra amount and using that to actually get a higher quality lead, maybe spending a little bit more, maybe even on par with what Facebook is, but you're getting a higher quality lead than the Facebook lead. And that's typically what we've seen. Awesome. So hopefully that answered that question. Oh, we've got a bunch of questions coming in here as well. Awesome. So, and the next question is from Kimberly. Do you help newbies with ads, real estate niche, and teaching niche? Absolutely. So we work with people from a wide array of different skill levels, different areas in their business, starting out their business, really scaling their business. Like I mentioned before, we work with, you know, people who are really scaling and people who are doing $1 million a month, like the person I just talked with yesterday. But we also work with people that are looking to get their first $10,000 a month, right? And then my absolute favorite thing is getting people their first $10,000 a month, and then $30,000 a month, and then $50,000 a month, and then $100,000 a month. And sometimes that can happen much sooner than you think, especially with YouTube ads, especially with the way that we do it. We've got a client, we actually have a testimonial, so you guys can, you know, watch the testimonial for this. Actually, Lauren can post in the comments down below, so I don't want you guys thinking I'm just saying like a story. Like, this is one of our clients, one of my favorite people, Jonathan Kirshner, one of our clients. He helps people who have staffing and recruiting agencies, and he helps people. He helps those staffing and recruiting firms, you know, obviously be able to get more clients and build their businesses. And, you know, back in about February, March, he was kind of struggling. He had done everything. He had been running ads on Facebook. He had joined multiple masterminds, and he was getting organic clients, but he wasn't getting any real paid traffic clients, or not that many at all. And he had invested so much money into this that he even said in our testimonial video, and the only reason I say this is because he said in the video he did that he was thinking of quitting and going to his, you know, to a 9-to-5. And he joined our program with YouTube ads, not knowing really anything about YouTube ads, not having had that much success on Facebook. We get him up and running within 5 weeks. He had his first $10,000 from YouTube ads from clients coming in. The first $10,000 from YouTube ads. And that was also the biggest month he had in his business so far. And then he got, just 2 months later, to $30,000 to $40,000 a month, and he was there. And then we ramped up even further. Then he got to $50,000, $60,000 a month. And this month, he's on track to do over $100,000. And we actually just filmed a testimonial video, an update, because there's a couple. He did one for the first 10,000. We just did a testimonial update that I'm drawing all this from about a week and a half ago. And that prior week, the week before that video that we recorded about a week and a half ago, he had done $30,000 in 1 week. So from his first $10,000 to his first $30,000 month to his first $30,000 week in less than 6 months, from February until now in August, or in about 6 months. And so that just shows like how quickly you can grow, even if you are a beginner using YouTube video ads. Those are some of my favorite stories because, you know, it's not just starting out and getting to that starting point. You know, it's saying, okay, now that we've gotten here, how can we go there? And how can we go there? And one of the things he did is, you know, obviously after our YouTube ads program, we got everything implemented and he got to those $30,000, $40,000 months. But he also recommitted. And so I don't know who's watching here, but we might have some of our clients on here as well. You know, he recommitted to join our Inner Circle program, which is our continuation, our back-end program where we build out omnipresent retargeting. We take it to the next level. And, you know, he was able to scale to, you know, what I believe he may have already hit it. So I got to double check with him, but this month should be $100,000 month for him. So just really exciting, that growth. And that's what, you know, I'm excited for you guys as well. So hopefully that answered your question, Kimberly, on does this help newbies with ads? Real estate niche, we work with a wide variety of people in real estate, mortgage, things like that. You know, obviously I'd recommend reaching out to a member of our team or scheduling calls, see if it's a good fit. But I think Yanni is a good testimonial for that. I think it's $2.50 real estate leads. I mean, that's just, you know, phenomenal. Obviously we have a lot of results like that, but that's one example I would mention. Awesome. So Juan asks, how would you recommend running YouTube ads for solar leads? Oh, that's another good one. So we actually have a lot of solar lead businesses that are running YouTube ads to get solar leads. We've had some people get really major deals as well. I don't want to say, because I'm 80% sure. I don't want to say something I'm 80% sure about. So I'm not going to say the specific result that I am thinking of. I would want to look at my my testimonials page just to confirm this. But we have solar people doing incredibly well with YouTube ads, and obviously we can confirm that with our team. The specifics of that I was thinking of. I just don't want to say a number being 80% sure, but I always want to be 100% sure when I say something. So, but yeah, we see a lot of success with solar leads. It's the similar thing, right? If you're the person in your area that is running solar ads, you are going to stand out. You're going to be able to get people on calls. It's the same type of call funnel, right? Where you can get people interested. You can actually have a hook. You can educate. You can teach them why, you know, not only is solar going to be better, it's going to be better for the environment, it's going to be better for them, but also it's going to save them money, right? And then you get into the call to action. The call to action is to book a call or to learn more, whatever that next step is. It might be a webinar. You don't have to do a webinar though. I think we have a variety of different people in solar. I think some people do more of a funnel. Some people do more straight to a call. You know, again, we're going to figure out what makes the most sense for you when we dive in and we get this set up. But yeah, solar, it works really well. I'd recommend connecting with our team because we've had some good success with solar as well with YouTube ads. Awesome. So Charles asks, what are the limitations for making an ad for attorneys? I heard that the state bar needs to approve of the marketing content. So that specific answer, I actually don't know because I think that more is in line with attorneys in general. I don't think you need to, for YouTube, get like a state bar approval. Like YouTube will let you run things. It's the same thing. Like YouTube will let real estate people run real estate ads. It's just, you individually should know your own laws and rules. And that's something we can help you with. I've got members of our team that are more versed individually in all of the specifics of, you know, Google's policies, you know, how to get things approved, stuff like that. But in general, we don't really have many issues with getting things approved. What I would say is that's a situation of, you can run it on YouTube. I don't know what legal situation you need on the back end. So we can work with you on that. We have members of our team that can go in and look at that. I just don't know that off the top of my head. I don't know of any specific YouTube limitations, but there could be legal limitations for you overall. Like for instance, I know with real estate, for instance, you can target technically household income when you're running your YouTube ads, but there are some certain things that say you should not. Legally, Google will let you do it, but you shouldn't do it, if that makes sense. So, you know, you just have like obviously we can go in and we can take a look at some things as well. Obviously you might come to it with things that you know, but that's what I would say is an answer to that question. Awesome. The next question is Sandrine asks, what ad formats do you use in YouTube in-stream ads? Okay, I'm not 100% sure exactly the question here, but I know, so in-stream ads is the main format that we're using. And then we'll do TCPA, so lead ad, TCPA. We'll switch it to max conversions if we need to. Sometimes we'll do a CPV, which is manual, you know, cost per view bid. Not as much anymore. So mostly we're doing a target cost per action where we set the amount that we want to pay per conversion. YouTube ad as an in-stream ad. If you want to add to that question, just so that I have the full picture, I'm just not exactly sure 100%. I would also recommend, as an answer to that question, we cover a lot of what we recommend as our general YouTube ad strategy in our webinar, adoutreach.com/webinar. So if you take a look at that as well, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into in-stream ads, how that works, what those look like, and the different targeting that we recommend. Awesome. And actually, while we're on here as well, obviously we have our ad outreach webinar. I know a lot of you guys in the group have already seen it. I just mentioned that. But if you're a coach, consultant, or course creator, we just launched, I just made last week a brand new webinar at adoutreach.com/new-webinar. Lauren, can you post that down below? adoutreach.com/new-webinar, a webinar for coaches, consultants, and course creators, specifically on how to build an infinite pipeline of phone call leads and clients using YouTube ads for coaches, consultants, and course creators. So if you guys are interested in watching that new webinar, I actually pull some even client trainings into that. I pull a collection of like basically all the trainings that I've done publicly and some private as well. I've pulled all together specifically for coaches, consultants, course creators. And that webinar is called How to Build an Infinite Pipeline of Coaching, Course, and Consulting Clients using YouTube video ads. So adoutreach.com/new-webinar. It's a little plug here in the middle of the AMA, but we're going to be diving right back into the content. So the next question that we have is from Javier, asks, are webinars still good? This is a great question, because what I have heard, and I've heard this from people, is webinars are dead, right? I've heard people say that time and time. They're like, webinars are dead. Webinars aren't working anymore. That's not true. Maybe webinars on the platform. So maybe Facebook ads to webinars are dead. I don't know. I'm not going to say they are or they aren't. I know people who still see success with that, but the results have been dropping on Facebook ads to webinars, because the problem is everybody's just scrolling through. I found everybody's just running the exact same ads to the same people with the same funnels on Facebook. What we're talking about is a blue ocean with YouTube ads, right? And think about it. Everybody's just running the same cut and paste ads, you know, basically the same like half a dozen audiences, Gary Vee, Frank Kern, Tony Robbins, all of this, you know, Russell Brunson, ClickFunnels, all this stuff, and then the same funnels. So what we recommend doing is using YouTube ads with a new platform, new audiences, new funnels with YouTube ads that you can actually get in front of people with the right message at the right time. That's what we talk about. So that's one thing that I wanted to illustrate. But to answer your question, are webinars still good? Absolutely. Let me just go through some of the stats that we're seeing right now. From YouTube ads to webinars in general, we are seeing a 50 to 60% show up rate across us and our clients on webinars for webinar registrants. 50 to 60% show up rates. Maybe you were getting that 3-4 years ago on Facebook, but the reason people say webinars are dead is people's show up rates are just in the floor. They're like 25% from the people that I've spoken with, you know, and the problem is people aren't even attending that long of the webinar. We're seeing 50 to 60% webinar show up rates on YouTube ads to webinars. And think about it. Why is that? It's because what is YouTube other than, or what is a webinar other than a longer form video? And what are people doing on YouTube? They're watching videos to solve a problem. So if you get in front of that video with an ad that hooks them in, that educates, that gives them a little bit of value right off the bat, but teases them just enough so they will want more, then has a call to action. The call to action leads to your webinar. Then on your webinar, you're providing more value. They're going to stick around. They're going to watch it. They're going to show up because you had that educate component, right? So you get them to show up to the webinar. You have that hook, right? And at the same time, they're already watching videos. So you already know they're in a video consumption learner's mindset. So they're much more likely to actually go on and watch your webinar than on Facebook. We've all done it. We're just scrolling by. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, maybe I'll sign up for that. But then they don't watch it. Versus on YouTube, they're watching videos right now. And then if you get in front of them with an ad, and then that ad then leads to your webinar, and they sign up and you provided some value on the ad so that they see you as the expert, they see what you have as what they want, then they're much more likely to show up and watch your webinar. So not only are we seeing an average of 50 to 60% show up rates on webinars between us and our clients, on my personal webinar, and this is the original one, by the way, obviously we just launched the new webinar for coaches, consultants, course creators, but the original webinar that we have, which is just in general YouTube ads for leads and sales, which again is still a great webinar. They're two totally different webinars. One just, overall YouTube ads, one is specifically for coaches, consultants, course creators. But our original YouTube ads webinar is an hour and 8-minute long webinar, and our average watch time is 53 minutes, where we give the offer to book a call with our team at 45 minutes. So our average watch time is longer than where we have our call to action to book a call. And obviously we provide a lot of value on the webinar. You guys know me, I'm a value first kind of person, but at the same time, it's the platform and it's the ad and it's the way you get people into it. So webinars are not dead. I won't say whether the platform's dead or not, but Facebook ads to webinar, I will give you, it's not looking too hot right now. YouTube ads to webinar is absolutely where it is at right now. And the other thing too is, to be honest, I've heard people say, okay, VSL, Facebook ads to VSL, that VSL is like VSLs are in. And I'm not saying VSLs don't work. And also people run YouTube ads to VSLs. That's a video sales letter, by the way. It's like a 10, 15 minute video. People run Facebook ads to VSLs and that works. And YouTube ads to VSLs, I mean to say, and that works well. But if you could get somebody to watch a 10 or 15 minute video or an hour-minute webinar, and let's just say all things are equal and they'll watch the whole thing, which would you rather have? Somebody watch 10 minutes worth of content or an hour? Well, it's always an hour. Like it's not, I've heard some people try and say that VSLs are better than webinars. Like if you can get people to watch a whole webinar, I'll have people watch a whole webinar every day versus a VSL. The reason that people are going to VSLs, again, video sales letter, that's like a 10, 15 minute training video. The reason people are going to that on Facebook is because the attention span on Facebook is going down and down and down, and they need to give something that really cuts through the noise and goes really fast. But webinars are still going to convert better. Like we've run split tests on this, right? Because obviously you can still get people to sign up for a VSL with YouTube ads. I've split test. I have a VSL that I kind of retired. Now I'm replacing with a new webinar, YouTube ads for coaches, consultants, course creators. I used to have a VSL that was YouTube ads for high ticket sales. And consistently our main webinar, which isn't even about high ticket sales, it's just in general, YouTube ads consistently outperformed the VSL. Now we're actually replacing the VSL with a new webinar for that reason, because YouTube ads to webinar just works so well. Awesome. So again, I went on a little bit of a tangent, but I hope you guys, are enjoying this and are getting your questions answered here. So Javier, very small question, 4 words. Are webinars still good? I gave you a really long answer. Hopefully you found that valuable. Awesome. So the next one that we have is Denise. So Denise asks, hello, Aleric. Do you do the YouTube video promotion in-house or do you outsource it? If you outsource the video production, would you mind sharing the names of the companies that you work with? Thank you very much. All right. So what we do is we typically will recommend to our clients that they use, we actually have a list for our clients of recommended video editors and different services. Now, I don't have off the top of my head, I don't know the exact names. I know we have like 24 different people that we give to our clients. We're like, all right, these are people that we've worked with or our clients have worked with, have gotten great results. Typically, those are sourced from Upwork. I have found that Upwork is the best place to get free, kind of people who are, ready to be videographer or not videographers. I mean to say, video editors, things like that. Typically, that's what we do. We also have trainings in our program talking about kind of the basics of video editing, Adobe Premiere, stuff like that, how to put it together if you wanted to have somebody on your team do that in-house. These days, like for our own videos, we do a mix of both. So Lauren, who's watching this right now, is our marketing content coordinator. She does a great job. She's also the one sending me all these questions that you guys are sending in. And she, does some of our own videos because we have her in-house. But even still, we have some other videos and overflow that we either have somebody, one of our trusted, kind of freelancers that does video editing at Upwork, do that. And again, we have like a list that we give to our clients, like 24 of those. Or we also work with No Limit Creatives and Jeff Minickbach, I believe, and his agency. And he's got a great offer there as well, where they do kind of like an infinite number of videos and graphics and stuff like that. And he's kind of, I've known him for a little while. So we use him for some of our overflow as well. Again, there's multiple ways to do it. In-house, use kind of like an agency that has like a lot of different, they can do a bunch of videos, or you could have like Upwork and a specific editor. I do really like getting more of a specific editor for your actual YouTube ads or having it done in-house. But for like kind of the other videos, let's say there's like testimonials or different retargeting videos, like a mass selection of videos, then you can have, you know, one of these companies that kind of do infinite, you know, video production, do that for you. There's a few different ones. The one that I use is, you know, Jeff's No Limit Creatives. Awesome. The next one here is Mulkin asks, and by the way, Denise as well, like obviously you want to make sure that you have the right video and the script and everything like that. So again, you know, if you haven't already, I recommend always, you know, scheduling a call with our team to walk you through, because again, it's not just the video editing. You need to make sure you have the right script. That's something we want to help you with. And obviously once you have the video, targeting the right people, the right time, the right message, right? And so obviously that's what we could dive into as well. Again, for everybody who's watching here, I love answering your questions. I always want to provide value. So I'm going to give you, this is AMA. I'm going to give you the exact answer. But part of this is, you know, instead of just hopping on AMAs like this, if you guys are our clients, or even if you just go to adoutreach.com/apply and see what it looks like and walk through, you know, your business with our team, obviously, you know, one of the things that we do best is working with you step by step to implement this in your own business. We have a hybrid model. It's a done with you model where we're working together to implement everything. So we have trainings, yes, that go step by step. You have lifetime access to that. But then we're also working together for a period of time where we're actually having our copywriters help you write your script, exactly what to say and do. We're actually going in and helping you set up your campaigns, optimize your campaigns, scale your campaigns, going into your ad account and helping you each step of the way to make sure that your campaigns work. I just saw out there that there's a huge, huge problem in the marketplace in that people either fall into one of two camps. They're either a course, and oftentimes the courses are outdated. There's absolutely no support. You know, you guys probably know, like I know I shelf courses. You probably shelf courses. You don't really go through them because there's no support, and they're oftentimes outdated. And on the other side, you have agencies, but you're beholden to them. You're not actually learning anything. You know, it's a black box, right? And you basically have to pay them forever to run your ads. They're also not eat, sleeping, and breathing your ads. Like you can, either as the business owner, entrepreneur, or if you're a bigger company, you might have a marketing director or somebody who can go through the program and implement YouTube ads. So that's why we take the best of both worlds, learning how it works, training step by step, and also helping you hands-on. So having our copywriter go in and write the script with you on a call, actually going in and helping you set up your campaigns, what to do, going in, sharing screens and everything. That's why that hybrid model works so well, because we can work with you to implement YouTube ads now, and then you can have those as a tool in your business forever. So that's what I'm excited about. So anyways, that was just a quick tangent there. And hopefully that gives a little bit, because I know some people, I didn't see this question particularly, but some people ask how we work with clients because they know we're not an agency. They know we're not a course. Like, what do you do? It's that done with you, done together process that I've genuinely found provides the absolute best client results, because it's the combination of teaching, but also helping you implement and going in and actually having our team help you set everything up. Awesome. So the next question that we have here is Mulkin asks, I'm not good in front of a camera. Any recommendations on making a good video ad? How many creatives do you need to test with each campaign? That is a great question. So the way that we recommend creating and crafting a winning YouTube ad is obviously hook, educate, call to action. But what I kind of left out when I talked about that earlier is I recommend doing multiple hooks. So typically what I'm going to recommend doing is probably about probably about 4 to 6 different hooks. Let's say you have 5 different hooks. Now, people think, oh man, I have to record 5 different videos, but you don't actually have to record 5 different videos. You only have to record what feels like 1.5 videos, because what you do is you segment it, right? You have hook, educate, call to action. So what you'll do is you'll film all of the hooks. You'll film hook 1, hook 2, hook 3, hook 4, hook 5, hook 6, or whatever. And then you film the educate portion. Maybe you film it twice just to make sure you get it right. So educate version 1, educate version 2. Call to action, maybe you film it once or twice. Honestly, call to action, you probably just film once. Call to action. Then you just string them together, and maybe you have up to 10. Maybe only one of the educates when you watch it back really looks good. So usually we don't test, like split test different educates. Really, what you'll turn up with is between 5 and 10 different variations from what felt like filming 1.5 videos. You just film 5 different hooks, maybe 2 different educate sections, or you just film the same thing twice to get the better take. And then you have the call to action, right? Maybe you film it twice and get the better take. And then from there, you just string it all together. And we have obviously all of this, you know, mapped out, but it feels like you've only filmed 1.5 videos, but you end up with 5, 10, or 15, even 15 variations of the same video with different hooks. Again, that's the type of thing that our team dives into. And so one of the things our copywriters do is they take a look, and when they're crafting the script with you is they say, okay, let's do this hook that's going to appeal to this type of person, this hook that's going to appeal to this type of person, this market. All right, let's test this hook. You know, this hook, it's either going to work incredibly well or it might fall on its face, but it doesn't matter because we have all of these different hooks. So they may be safer hooks. And then we have this hook that this is a flyer. It's either going to work so well or it's not going to work as well. And so you take a bunch of these different hooks, and then that way you can split test, okay, which of these versions of videos can work best. Remember, you're only paying if somebody watches more than 30 seconds of your ad. So if the first 30 seconds of your ad is different, it's effectively an entirely different video, even if the educate and the call to action is all the same. Because, you know, most of the people are going to skip the ad. And so you want to pull in the right people that are actually going to take action and be interested. Awesome. So hopefully that answered that question, Molken. Awesome. So Jyoti asks, what is a good cost per lead on YouTube versus Facebook and LinkedIn? I heard YouTube ads are expensive. So, and I don't know exactly where you heard that, that YouTube ads are expensive, but it's probably from somebody who's not actually implementing what we have right here, 3D YouTube ads. Now, I cannot tell you the average cost for a lead because there's all kinds of different leads, right? We were talking earlier about, you know, solar, mortgage and insurance leads. We were talking about webinar registrations, VSLs, email lists. So there's all kinds of different leads. And the thing is, even if we do narrow it down and just say, okay, just webinar registrants, you know, we have people who get $5 webinar registrants. We have people that are only targeting top 10% or 20% of income earners. They get $25 webinar registrants, but they're so much higher quality because they're only targeting top income earners, right? So there's a whole range, and obviously a lot of people in between, you know, 10, 15. So I can't give the exact amount because it would not be a accurate answer, right? Anybody who's going to tell you your lead cost is going to be this is, you know, either they don't really know what they're doing or they're just BSing you, because you need to know what your lead cost is by actually running the ads. But what I can tell you is when you use ads like this with 3D YouTube ads, you target demographics, videos, and affinities, you're going to be able to reach people who are in the income bracket that can afford your products, services, coaching, consulting, whatever it is. And then you're reaching people who are watching a video right now and that has intent, and that's far more superior than Facebook where they're just scrolling through. And then you layer that with affinities and audiences and who somebody actually is, which is actually similar to how Facebook works, right? So the intent, the interests, right? The affinities, the audiences, and you're layering that with the intent, which is the videos, and then the demographics that can afford your services, and that's what you're layering all together. So typically we've actually seen YouTube leads cost less. Where they might cost a little bit more is if you're either not setting it up this way, you're just running placement ads, which is a mistake. We talked about that earlier. You may have watched that. If not, you can catch the beginning of it again, where we talked about placement ads and why we don't recommend that as much. Or they might be purposely paying a little bit more for leads because they're targeting higher quality leads that are in a higher income bracket. So there's a few different ways. So hopefully that answers your question. If you have more questions on that too, you can feel free, obviously, to schedule a call. We can walk you through exactly what it looks like as well. Because, you know, I wouldn't just listen to anecdotal people saying it costs more. I mean, you can go to adoutreach.com/tank, and maybe Lauren can post this down below. You can just see all the testimonials. I think there's even a page. I think it might be adoutreach.com/Facebook versus YouTube, but I'm not sure. Lauren would probably know this better. But there's even a page where we have a collection of testimonials from people that switched from Facebook to YouTube ads, and their lead cost half. And they got more leads, they got more sales, it got them over, 100K a month, all of that just by switching to YouTube. We have a client right now, just last month did over $200,000. They're on track to do $300,000 to $400,000 this month. And they switched 80% of their budget to YouTube ads. There's a reason they switched 80% of their budget to YouTube ads. Now I'm actually getting on a strategy call. We're going to be building some stuff out. Hopefully we'll be getting a testimonial on that soon when I hop on another call with him. Or with them, actually, it's a couple guys, when I hop on a call with them next week, and hopefully we get a testimonial and can document some of these results that we have here. But at the same time, we actually have another one. Ahmad's a great example. He was stuck at that 40 to 60K mark. We get him on YouTube ads. He starts switching over more and more YouTube ads. Originally, it was just because he got shut down on Facebook. He wanted another lead source. He realizes YouTube works better. So he's spending more and more and more and more and more. Until his the month that he spent 80% of his budget, his marketing budget, on YouTube ads, and this was last November, so this was a little while ago, but that month was his first $100,000 month. Before that, he was stuck at 40, 60K. the quote that he said in our testimonial videos, he could not get there on the back of Facebook ads. He got to 100K a month on the back of YouTube ads. And obviously with our team's help, his testimonial, Ahmad's testimonials on that testimonial tank page. So anyways, hopefully that answers that question. All right, Elkin asks, in Latin markets, it's not activated for income dimensions. So what should you do? Is there a plan B? So that's a great question. There are different markets that don't have the household income targeting. So in that case, what I'm going to recommend is focusing on the videos and affinity, specifically in market and intent. Now, obviously where there is income targeting, you want to use it, you want to leverage it. But excuse me, when there's not income targeting, you still know that you're going to be able to, so what you're going to do is you're actually going to pay a little bit less per lead, because that's actually what was talked about earlier, right? Is the fact that, you know, are you paying more or less per lead? It's like, if you're targeting higher income, you might pay more per lead, but you actually will get higher quality people that are more likely to convert. And actually what we found is with top income brackets, you get a cheaper, the lead cost might be slightly higher, but the app cost is actually less, because those people are more in your ideal market and they're more likely to apply. App cost being application, if it's an application-based funnel, so phone call booking. If you don't have that, we've actually worked with a lot of different people. I think Luis is a good example. In the Latin America market, he's getting $2.50 webinar registrants, right? Now, obviously, that's not household income targeted, but it's in the Latin America market, $2.50. And he is getting within all of those leads, you know, tens of thousands of leads or thousands and thousands of leads. Within all of those leads, he has the people in there that are in those higher brackets. So even though he can't target it, it's just a different strategy. It's kind of the strategy, unfortunately, that, you know, you have to use in different platforms that don't have household targeting when it's not available to you. But all of these same things still work. You still want to target videos and affinities. I would absolutely speak with our team. Take a look at Luis's testimonial as well. And, you know, we are just, I am so like, you know, almost jealous of like the conversion costs and the conversion percentages in the Latin America market. It is so untapped. It is so untapped, you know, even just advertising in general over there, but especially YouTube, that, you know, we're just taking a look at the funnel metrics. It is insane, the results that our clients in Latin America are getting. So absolutely talk with our team. I highly recommend that, because we just, you know, blow that up. I mean, the same thing with like Luis. I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know if Lauren's posting these or not. I'm sure she is, but she might be able to post that testimonial below. Awesome. So let's loop back. So again, guys, you know, obviously, if you guys have any more questions, post them down in the chat below. This is our Ask Me Anything AMA on YouTube ads. Hope you guys are enjoying this so far. We've got more questions that we're going to be diving into, but just a reminder, if you guys want to schedule a strategy call with our team, it's a 45-minute strategy call to see if YouTube ads are a good fit for your business. Go to adoutreach.com/apply. You can schedule a time that works for us. We also have a testimonial supercut video that goes bang, bang, bang through a variety of different clients and them revealing their results, talking about their experience with YouTube ads. You can see for yourself. You know, we also have a whole testimonial page as well, adoutreach.com/tank, that you can go through and take a look at all of our, you know, client results and testimonials. So the next question that we have here, and this was from yesterday, Satya asks, in what stage of the funnel are YouTube discovery ads best? That's a great question. I love it. So what stage of the funnel for YouTube discovery ads? So what I recommend for those discovery ads, one second. Sorry, I've just been talking a lot. For those discovery ads is usually later on in the funnel. Now, this may depend on the individual business, but we've got a client that is and actually we have obviously a lot of clients who are doing this, but one in particular in the real estate investment coaching space. And we also have, you know, obviously a variety of other people too, but he specifically has had a lot of podcast interviews. Also, I have had a lot of podcast interviews. So I've done this myself as well, where I am actually able to take those podcast interviews that I've done and value videos and content videos that I have done in the past on video, upload those to my YouTube channel and run those as discovery ads, as hot retargeting ads and warm retargeting ads to people that have opted into my webinar, opted into my email list, you know, watched my webinar, people who have viewed our apply page, even just people who have viewed our website, targeting all of those people with discovery ads. And if you guys aren't familiar with discovery ads, those are the ads that appear either in search results or alongside other videos as recommended videos on the homepage as recommended videos. Those are videos that pop up and it feels like you naturally found it. So imagine this. Imagine somebody, you know, actually opts into your funnel. They watch your webinar, but they don't book a call. You know, maybe they get distracted or they haven't just quite gotten pushed over the edge yet. Then they go on YouTube and they see a video that's like, you know, and I'll just use myself as an example, you know, YouTube ads podcast with Aleric. They're like, oh, I remember that guy. I was just on his webinar. And they click on the link, but they don't see this. They have a little ad, and maybe they do see it. It says ad right in the corner, but it's kind of small. And so they click on it, and now all of a sudden they go to the YouTube watch page, and now they're watching a whole video podcast of me talking about YouTube ads. It's just additional, you know, branding and getting in front of people and exposure. But that doesn't work as well top of funnel because, and except in some very specific cases, right? Some people use it. So there's a couple Amazon clients that we have that teach Amazon and building Amazon courses, stuff like that are running top of funnel. But in general, we don't recommend doing that top of funnel because you can't get people into your funnel right that way. Or you can, but not as many people do. You can't necessarily optimize for conversion. But once you already have a conversion and they are in your hot retargeting list, you can just get in front of them again and again with all of the different content you produce as a discovery ad. That's really powerful. So hopefully that answers that question there. Awesome. The next question that we have from Ricky here is roughly how much do you expect your CPL or CPA to increase as you scale from $500 a day to, let's say, $2,500 or $5,000 a day? That is a great question. I was actually just having this conversation and just talking about some of these stuff just the other day with a client that has spent, you know, literally so far this year over $1.7 million. We have other people that are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on YouTube ads. Obviously, we have a lot of people who are spending less than that. So again, we have people who are getting their first $10,000 a month, their first $50,000 a month, or $100,000 a month. And then obviously we have people who are doing over $1 million a month. So obviously we have a whole array of different clients that we've worked with. We've also worked with huge companies as well. You know, we work with the big mattress bed in a box brand, the $500 million company. You know, so we've also worked with big companies like that as well. But we work with a wide array of different people. But this is a great question. Like, where do you go when you start scaling? That's a question, you know, as a client like Jonathan, right? Going from, you know, his first $10,000 to $30,000 months to $30,000 weeks, all in the span of just, you know, 5 months is a type of growth that we want to help our clients succeed. So $500 a day to $2,500 to $5,000. So typically you have a degree of diminishing returns with any type of marketing, any type of advertising. As you spend a little bit more, there's going to be a little bit of diminishing returns. Now, sometimes you can make up for that just by, you know, obviously the algorithm gets better as you spend more, but at the same time, as you tap into markets, you're going to tap into colder and colder markets. But here's the big, huge, huge difference between YouTube and Facebook. The problem with Facebook is Facebook's not 3D like that. Facebook is interest-based and demographic-based, but there's nothing for intent. So there's nothing targeting when people see your ads. So Facebook has to fill in that third part of the Venn diagram with something. And you know what it fills it in with? The algorithm. So when you're trying to scale your campaigns up, you can't control when your ads show up, and you're paying for every time they show up. Unlike YouTube, where you only pay if they watch 30 seconds or more. So on Facebook, you're paying for every time they show up. So if you're trying to scale your ad, let's say from $500 to $1,000 a day, a certain campaign, the problem that you're going to run into is you try and scale up, but it doesn't scale linearly. You scale up by double, but your campaign results don't double. Why is that? Well, the reason that is because Facebook is trying to make up for it with the algorithm. You're just praying that it works. You're just praying to the algorithm gods. But over here on YouTube, what you're doing is you're targeting with 3D targeting. So demographics, affinities, and then video. Sorry, I'm trying to do this like a weatherman or whatever, like you're pointing backwards. But yeah, demographics, affinities. So yes, okay, that's who the person is, you know, household income. But then you're layering it with videos. And when you layer it with videos, whether it's keywords or topics, or yes, even placements, when you're layering it with videos, what you're able to do is control when, you know, where your ads actually show up. And so essentially, if you're trying to scale your ads, let's say from $500 to $1,000 a day, you can double your budget and just buy more ad inventory of the videos you know you convert with the same audience, the type of people that convert, and the same demographics. And so you can scale your ads much more efficiently. Typically, what we're going to see is a slight decrease in the amount of, or a slight increase in the CPA, a slight decrease in the conversions as you scale, or not decrease in conversion, sorry, slight increase in the CPA. Obviously, conversion will go up, CPA will go up a little bit, versus Facebook where it could just go all over the place. You don't know. On YouTube, there are a little bit of diminishing returns, but it does what you expect it to do. If you're going from $500 a day to $1,000 a day, you might expect to get, you know, 1.9 times the results, right? So maybe you're getting like 190% of the results you're getting before. So you might lose like, 10% there, but you'll gain more, in terms of the results that you have. Versus on Facebook, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. It kind of seems to be all over the place. On YouTube, it scales the way you would think. It increases, but there is a yield curve of diminishing results. The goal is to find that peak point and then set up multiple campaigns. So we've got a client, again, actually real estate investing coaching client, and they have a campaign that they were running $250 a day. Just one campaign. They have multiple campaigns. $250 a day, getting about $85 per application. So that's people who book a call and fill out an application to top 20% of income earners. Top 20% of income earners only who are interested in real estate investment coaching. It was really well. He's like, let's scale this. Let's scale this up. And so then we go from $250 to $500. We go from $500 to $1,000. So now at $1,000 a day, 4 times the budget, where it was at $85 per application, 4 times the budget, his average is around $110 per application. Did the cost go up? Yes, it went up a little bit. But, and it's more than a little bit technically, but the applications that he gets, think about this, right? Now, I'm not going to reveal all the numbers. I also don't know necessarily all of the numbers in his business. I know the rough. I'm not going to reveal necessarily all the numbers that he has. But if you break into that, if you dial into that, let's say you're spending even 110 versus 85 on a qualified application, top 20% of household income earners, somebody books a call, fills out an application, they're in the top 20% of income earners. Mind you, actually, it's kind of funny, top 10% of income earners, the average cost now is actually still $95. And it's like 100 and, it's like 100, actually, no, hold on. Sorry. It's 110 for 11 to 20%. So the average cost actually was $99 when I did the video. Anyways, regardless, even if it was 110, it's actually $99. It was 110 for that. It was like $95 for top 10%. It averaged out to be around $100 per application. But even if it's 110, whatever. If you go in, it's between 100 and 110. I'd have to look at I made a video on this. Lauren could probably post it below. Again, I'm just trying to go into everything here. But with that campaign, let's just say it's 110, because I want to give you the higher of the two numbers. I'm pretty sure, thinking about it now, it's actually 99 is the average, and then it was 95 for that, and 115 or 110, and kind of averaged out. But anyways, if you look at that, let's just say it's 110. If you're closing 20% of people, which you should be closing more than that, honestly, that's what, $550 per cost per acquisition. If you're selling a high ticket program, let's say you're at least $5,000, if not $10,000 or $15,000 or whatever, you're making, the returns you're making are just insane. So it's one of those things, when you look at the numbers, you are willing to spend more so that you can get that increased result. Again, I kind of went on a tangent. I was looking at some of these numbers. We actually have a case study with that particular client where I actually dive into the ad account and I show you, what that scaling looks like. Lauren can post that below. Awesome. All right, next question that we have here. Jack Carver asks, you clearly have a great digital marketing system. Once someone shows interest, you retarget them across many channels and stay up top of mind. But what about new businesses that have very little digital content? Are ads even worth trying? Or should they first build up substantially before driving traffic? What's the minimal viable content before you start ad spend? That is a great question. We have been really growing, and thank you so much. I'm glad you see, obviously I take a lot of great pride in our own marketing that we do. We retarget people everywhere. We have what we call the omnipresent retargeting approach, but we don't even cover omnipresent retargeting. That is covered in our ad outreach inner circle, which is, where our clients graduate into once they go through our main program with YouTube ads, one step at a time. Let's work together to implement YouTube ads before implementing all of the other platforms. Yes, all the other platforms are really important. That's going to push the needle on the business even more. But scaling up, especially getting to $50,000 a month, I would recommend focusing mainly on your main platform. But even your first $10,000, you could do with YouTube ads. Remember, I was talking about Jonathan Kirshner earlier, Jack. This is a great example. I highly recommend watching this video. So Lauren, if you can, maybe reply to the comment with Jonathan Kirshner's most recent testimonial, the update that he just did. But, he was trying all kinds of different things. He was doing organic, he was doing Facebook ads. But the thing is, if you just keep doing, if you're saying should I not drive traffic? Should I not run ads? You could be still stuck at that lower amount. So once you start using YouTube ads, then you could get people coming in. All you need is one ad with maybe a few variations. So there might be 5 hooks, but it's basically one ad. You don't need all the bells and whistles, all the retargeting, all of that. We'll help you build that out as you go on, but all you need to start with is one ad that sends people into your funnel, that gets people to take action. You just need one ad to start, then you go from there. That's what Jonathan Kirshner set up. He didn't set up retargeting until a couple months into the process, or at least a month and a half into the process, as I recall correctly. He got his first $10,000 from YouTube ads within 5 weeks. Then he was at $30,000, $40,000 a month. Then once he was at that point, he upgraded, he joined our inner circle, and that's when he started looking at other, other stuff. And actually, I don't even think he went past YouTube yet. He's still only running YouTube cold traffic plus YouTube ads, to my understanding. I don't think he's implemented some of the other omnipresent retargeting, and he's already scaled up to, I'm pretty sure he's hit 100,000. If not already, then he will this week, this month. And so, and that's all on the back of YouTube ads, and that's off of one main YouTube ad, a couple of campaigns we helped him set up, and then we just scaled. And then he added in retargeting several months ago, and that helped him scale up even further. But it's one thing at a time. You could start now. You could start implementing today, get a return on your campaigns, get a return on your ads. And the beautiful thing is too, Jonathan Kirshner, he is spending, he is going to spend this month between $9,000 and $10,000 on his YouTube ads. He's spending about $300 a day on his YouTube ads. And he's on track to do over $100,000 this month. Again, I gotta text him after this or whatever, but he's on track to do $100,000 this month off of $9,000 to $10,000 in YouTube ads. That's it. Mostly cold traffic, and then we helped him set up some retargeting as well. Because obviously at that point you want to run retargeting, but just YouTube ads on YouTube and retargeting on YouTube. We haven't even explored some of the other things that we have available to our clients, which is the omnipresent retargeting, being everywhere, being omnipresent. Hopefully that answered the question. I highly recommend, Jack, scheduling a call with our team, going to adoutreach.com/apply. We can walk you through all of this. We've obviously helped a wide variety of people at different levels. And one of my favorite things is having people come through this, like Jonathan Kirshner, that start out and they get their first $10,000 a month, but then literally 5 months later, getting $100,000 a month from that. 6 months since joining, 5 months after that first 10,000, getting to $100,000, like 10xing. That's what you can do. And the problem is, if you just keep trying to do it organically, yes, maybe you'll build up some cash reserves, but that's not what's actually going to give your business that gasoline on the fire. So if you have a business that is going to be able to, provide value to your clients, then I highly recommend scheduling a call. Awesome. So we got some more questions over here. Excellent. The next question that we have is, what's the difference between scalability and optimization? So let me get that in a second. Awesome. So the next question is, what's the difference between optimization and scalability? That is a great question, because they're two very different things, but they both need to be done in conjunction at separate times. You want to make sure that you optimize your campaign and you really dial in specifically to what is working. Now, the beautiful thing on YouTube is you can actually tell down to the exact video you're running your ad in front of, exact keyword that you're running, audience that you're running. Obviously, we have our 3D YouTube ads formula that we have back there, right? You can tell down to the exact video you're running your ad in front of what causes somebody to convert or not convert. And so you want to trim, get rid of what doesn't work, trim the fat, focus on what's actually providing conversions, optimizing on that, and then scaling those campaigns. But this is a huge misconception that people have when we talk about optimization versus scaling is, they say, okay, can we optimize and scale at the same time? But that's the same thing as trying to lose weight and build muscle at the same time. You can have both outcomes, but you need to start with one first. And at least on YouTube, there is an order. You want to make sure, and this is in general in marketing, you want to make sure that you're optimizing and then you're scaling. You're making sure that the campaigns are actually dialed in, and then you're able to increase those budgets. So if you take a campaign, you cast a net, and you're throwing different darts, and those are precision darts. You know what your audience is, you know where you're going to hit. You throw those darts. You see some don't really work, get rid of those. Some are getting closer and closer to the bullseye. The one that hit the bullseye, those are the campaigns that you want to scale. It's not just campaigns. The problem with Facebook ads is you try and, if you run a campaign, you know how you have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. If things don't work, you have to turn off the whole campaign. There's no way to optimize within a specific campaign. Versus on YouTube, it'll tell you this age bracket, this demographic, this keyword, this audience provided this amount of results. So if you have a keyword, how to lose weight, and a keyword how to get fit, and the keyword how to lose weight has like 5 conversions at a great cost per conversion, and how to get fit has 1 conversion, a very high cost per conversion, just turn off how to get fit. Then you're only running your ads to the keywords that are working best. You can't do that with Facebook. On Facebook, you just have the different audiences and the algorithm decides, you're praying that it's going to work. On YouTube, you can actually tell exactly what you need to optimize. So we optimize first, we trim the fat. I call it trimming the fat. We get rid of all of those keywords, audiences, targeting that aren't working, and we hone in, we start working and focusing on those keywords that are and audiences and targeting that's actually providing results. Then once we have that, once we have a lean, mean, campaign, that's what we can scale up, and that's what we can scale up. And that's how you're able to get those consistent high-level results. So that's optimizing and scaling. Hopefully that answers the question there. Awesome. Awesome. Let me just have a sip here as well. If you guys have any more questions, post them down below. We'll hit those. As I'm talking, I need to drink a little bit more here. I'm breaking out the water as well. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Went from a bunch of meetings to diving onto this, but it's what I love to do. It's what I love to do. And I could talk all day about YouTube ads. So the next thing that we have down here, let me just see. Next thing we have is, why do you need to become omnipresent in your marketing? What's so special about omnipresent retargeting machines? You guys probably heard me talk about the omnipresent retargeting machine. This is something that we're incorporating with our inner circle clients, which are higher tier clients. Obviously, our main program dives into YouTube ads. We build that out. That is the first step, as we talked about earlier, getting your YouTube ads up and running, getting consistent leads, clients, sales coming in through YouTube ads. But once you have that, you want to build onto that. You want to make sure that you're reaching people everywhere and you're being omnipresent. So what we found is, as people go through our process, they get lots of leads that come in, they get lots of sales. We start to set up some retargeting on YouTube, but then you want to set up more retargeting. You want to make sure that you're reaching people everywhere so that you're getting in front of the right people at the right time, and you're just reaching them again and again. And so on YouTube, what we could do is we could set up our retargeting ads. So then every time they go onto YouTube, you appear in front of different videos. You're getting in front of their face. The beauty with the YouTube retargeting is, when you're getting in front of these videos, how we talked about on YouTube, you only pay if somebody watches 30 seconds or more of your ad. Those same rules apply for your retargeting ads. So imagine if you're only paying if somebody watches 30 seconds of your retargeting ad. You could pop up again and again, and maybe you're seeing me pop up, in your retargeting ads, again and again. And if somebody skips that ad, you don't pay for it, but they still have seen your face. So it's getting your face out there. Somebody's already opted in, but then you can be everywhere. So this is what you want to build into. So you have your YouTube ads. That's bringing in the high quality leads that turn into sales. Obviously, you can send them, whether it's to a webinar, to a training, to a funnel, to an email list, and then obviously getting them to purchase something, whether it's a course or product, or maybe you're getting them on the phone, you're getting them to buy, whatever that next step is. But you want to constantly retarget people once they've signed up to push to that next step, to push to a purchase, to push to a course purchase, to push to booking a call. So they constantly see that again and again. And you also want to show testimonials strategically, content strategically. So you're basically building the brand that you have in their mind with the people that are retargeted. And so, if they see a testimonial and they're like, okay, I've seen a testimonial, then they see some content, they keep seeing you as the expert. Then you have a call to action where you say, okay, go ahead and book a call, or go ahead and purchase, this, whatever it happens to be, program, course, whatever. Then people are going to take action and go there. And so essentially what you want to do is have this omnipresent retargeting, reaching people on every platform. So YouTube we use, but then we're also retargeting people, yes, on Facebook, right? Because you want to keep reaching those same people. Now, obviously, you guys know my stance on Facebook for cold traffic. And these days we do a little bit of it. Obviously, YouTube is our bread and butter. That's what we do. And that's where we're scaled up the most. The same thing with our clients. A lot of our clients are switching like 80% of their budget over to YouTube. I mentioned a couple clients that had recently done that. Obviously, Ahmad had done that in the past, switching over to YouTube. But when you're retargeting, you want to retarget people everywhere. So you want to retarget people on YouTube, of course, it's low-hanging fruit. You only pay if they watch 30 seconds, but you also want to retarget on Facebook. So you can see them on Facebook. And you guys have probably seen some of my retargeting ads that you didn't expect to see me here. It's kind of a funny one, but you can have your own version of that and just seeing people. Also, you don't have to tell people why you're advertising on Facebook. You know, unlike me, right? I have to say like, hey, I want to be everywhere. I want to be omnipresent. But for you, you could just be everywhere and just have that be natural. And then you can also be on Google Display. So those are image ads. So now when somebody goes to a website, you're blanketing the whole site with your face and reminding people to book a call, reminding people to see testimonials. Also on YouTube, you're running discovery ads. So the ads I talked about earlier on in this video, I was talking about ads where you're able to pop up alongside other videos where you can click it and then it feels like they naturally found it, but it's really a retargeting ad, it's a discovery ad. So just constantly getting in front of people everywhere that way. And essentially getting in front of the right people with your omnipresent retargeting. You also run LinkedIn. There's some Jedi stuff we can do as well. You can even send messages on LinkedIn as we're retargeting out, which is kind of hilarious. And that's one of the things that we do. And obviously appearing in the feed there. There's just so many different platforms that you can use to be omnipresent. And that's how you stay top of mind. That's how you get the most people going into your funnel and get the most results and conversions. Awesome. So hopefully that answers the question on how to use omnipresent retargeting to build up your business. Again, if you guys are interested in that too, you know, atoutreach.com/apply. Just make sure you specifically say that you're interested in omnipresent retargeting because that's more in our inner circle. Obviously, YouTube ads is the main program that we offer. All right, looks like the last question I have here, unless somebody has anything else, and I think we're looking to wrap this up with this final question is, what are the components of a YouTube ready offer? Like what offer is going to work best for YouTube? So what you want to make sure, especially if, and I'm going to talk, this is asking about a coach, consultant, course creating kind of offer. Specifically, if you're a coach, consultant, course creator, you want to make sure that you have an offer that's ready for YouTube ads, but you don't have to have that before working with us. One of the things we do with our clients is we help you refine what that offer actually is and making sure that you can actually, you know, sell and offer a service to your clients or an offer to your clients that's actually going to get people the results that they want, what they want. So we actually have offer coaches on our team that's designed to set up what that perfect offer is. So whether it is a course that you're offering or it's a program or coaching or consulting, usually you're actually not charging as much as you're worth. So imagine if you had an infinite pipeline of leads coming into your business, if you had a full stacked calendar, how many people are coming to your business that you're able to charge a little bit more, maybe another $1,000, $2,000, right? Maybe you're able to charge $10,000 for what you offer, right? You can charge more than you're charging right now if you have an infinite pipeline. That's why not only do you want to implement YouTube ads, but you also want to work with our team to create what we call a YouTube ads ready offer so that you can make sure you have the right offer that's actually going to get people to, actually get people the right results. It's going to get people to buy when they get on the phone. It's going to be irresistible for your potential clients. And it's also going to make you the most return possible and actually charge what you're worth. Awesome. So I think that's the last question that we have here. Hopefully you guys found this AMA valuable. We do have a new webinar for YouTube ads for coaches, consultants, and course creators at outreach.com/new webinar. The link will be down there somewhere below. And I recommend if you guys are interested in YouTube ads, schedule it schedule, sorry, I've been talking so long. If you guys are interested in YouTube ads, schedule a strategy call with our team at outreach.com/apply. Again, this is a no pressure consultation. We're going to dive in, diagnose what your marketing is in your business right now, walk you through what YouTube ads can look like for your business. And if it is a good fit, we'll walk you through what our program looks like for YouTube ads. If it's not, we'll point you in the right direction, give you the right resources to take action. But go to outreach.com/apply. We can see what YouTube ads look like for your own business. Thank you guys for watching the AMA. I love to do these. I will do another one of these maybe in a couple weeks here. But again, if you have additional questions, post them below. My team can get those back to you. But also the easiest way to get your questions answered, to build out a roadmap, figure out how to implement YouTube ads in your own business is go to outreach.com/apply. We're looking forward to helping you with YouTube ads for your business. I'll see you there.